Values dictate the business decisions. This new dude who's very good looking, but he's not here because he's good looking. He's here because as the newest CEO of Sony, and we all know Sony was good, and then Sony was ordinary, and now he wants to make Sony great again. And his argument is they had moved away from the DNA of Sony, and the DNA of Sony revolves around its values, the key one being maximizing the spirit of innovation. GE changed their culture and generated a whole lot more money when they started focusing on driving value for the customer, because the consequence of that is that you then drive value for yourself. I've spoken to you about how we can use the soft to shape in the hard, but another killer thing about brands that are values-led is that they make sure that they leave a lingering sweet taste. Now, these dudes know each other from school. They make ice cream. The bigger the chunks, the more the joy. And halfway through it, they shut the shop and they leave a sign up that says, "We've shut for a couple of years because we actually want to go and figure out whether we're making any money." Whilst they're away, they realize that making money really doesn't matter as much as making people happy. So they come back and they focus on making people happy, and the money takes care of itself. Another thing that's also quite interesting about values-led businesses is that they do make them part of your KPAs. Now, this is an acronym. I'm new to banking, by the way, I should tell you this. So I'm learning all sorts of acronyms like TAT, which is turnaround time, KYC, know your customer, KPA, which is, there's someone in the room who works with me. Aha, key performance areas. Now, we now have a new boss, and his name is Anthony Jenkins, and he's taken over Barclays Bank at a time when we had the unperfect summer. It's the date on which I joined the bank, which was the 4th of July. Our old CEO left. It had nothing to do with me, so I wasn't taking it personally. But it also was Independence Day for America. How coincidental. But the beauty of what Anthony's trying to do with us now, and I'm hoping that if we do it consistently, then Anne will put our bank up as her next example, is he's now linking our business performance to our personal performance. So you don't necessarily separate conduct from results. So it's about achieving desired results in the right way. So don't trample over people. Don't make them sign 69 forms because the small print is on the 79th page. It's those set of tricks, right, that we in this universe of financial institutions need to take some level of responsibility for. But whilst I'm at it, I also want to plug, I think it's Sanlam or Santam, who have finally solved something that has bugged me for the longest time. We all know that when you buy your car, the value depreciates every year, correct? Yes. But what happens to your premium, your insurance premium? Aha. Now, for the first time, here's an insurer who says, if you bring me today's value of your car, I'll downward adjust your insurance to reflect that. But how many of us have done that before? How many of us have done? I mean, I've done it because there was a time when I needed to start counting my rands and cents, and I called my bank at the time. I said, okay, I do think there's a mismatch here. But I would encourage you, if you haven't done it, go do it now. Go back and say to the guy who sold you your car, what's its value today, and get your insurer to downward revise that. If they won't, call me. But what we also know, and this is another IBM example, is that Louis Gessner says, the thing I learned at IBM is that culture is everything. Many people may think, but why would you speak of culture and values at a marketing forum? Because actually, brands don't behave in any different manner to human beings with humility, integrity, and a solid core. Because the things we're building and the pitch we throw out in the form of ads that are based on human truths, ads that come from a place of understanding what is important, all of those things are a reflection of the brand's personality. So for me, being asked, or at least offering to speak on values, is to try and show us that there is a connection between the essence of a brand and the flavor of the results that we can get as a marketing community. Because if we don't, it gets tempting to emulate and imitate And that's the danger, because people who aren't in our community will always say, give me the ad that works like that other one. Give me the ad that works like that other. And you have to remind them, you have to say, but our brand's values are these. So we couldn't really do it that way, because it would be incredible, as in without credibility. But we are the ones who have to keep repeating that, because if we don't, then all the ads we see on telly will start trying to look like the DSTV spot we saw, or trying to look like the stuff that's being done for the Whippet in Linden. I've just spoken to you about how our new guy is saying we now have to link conduct and results, because if our behavior revolves around our values, then there's no mountain we can't climb. Another thing that's super cool about values-led brands is it helps you form your own vocabulary and outplug other people, because there's enough success for all of us. Investec speak of breaking China for the client, which means so much more than exceptional client service. Right? Burning the bridge was a conversation from the newest, he's no longer new now, when he took over Nokia, but it was about redirecting the energy in the business and saying, let's dive into the unknown. You'll be surprised what you'll find. And Kaizen is what keeps Toyota on its toes. Now, Kaizen is a term I use at the office all the time. I see them nodding. But it is just the commitment to continuous improvement. So you never stand still, because when you stand still, you start drowning. When you start drowning, you start dying. Then what's the point, right? I've also found that those brands that succeed in this values game are the ones that actually have the shortest list, right? The only reason I remember the letters of the alphabet is because when you shorten my name, it's the last alphabet and the first alphabet, and that's it. Everything in between I couldn't be bothered about. But IBM has these values, so dedication to every client's success, I can buy into that. Innovation that matters for our company and the world, trust and personal responsibility. Now, Coca-Cola has 8, which I think is okay if you can remember all of them. Facebook has 6, which is okay if I think you can remember all of them. I do think, though, that, and it's been scientifically proven, that if you do anything that's longer than 3, people tend to forget, which is why this favorite phrase of "I love you" has 3 words too, for a reason. I then thought that instead of having you listen to my voice all the time, we could also introduce a clip where you could listen to somebody's voice for 2 seconds. But it marks for me the reason why values are truly important. If vision is the magnet that draws you in, then values become the glue that help you stick together. And mine is just to encourage you consistently to always speak to the truth of your brand's value, always speak to the truth of your own essence. Because if you find yourself in an environment where those 2 things are aligned, you can only shine. If you find yourself in an environment where you're looking at a piece of work that reflects accurately the essence and the core of your brand's values, you can only soar. So I'll see you in Cannes, right? We've got a clip in here that I just thought we should watch for 2 seconds. I'm not touching anything.
The media, Wall Street, we had a falling stock price, competitors, customers, and even some employees who we call partners had decided that perhaps Starbucks' best days were behind them. And this is where I think the book is very honest and almost raw. I'm sharing intimate details of what we went through. The reader's really going to be in the room with me, understanding the issues, the tension, the choices, the pressure, and what it takes to believe in something and what it takes to really love something, and the commitment and the responsibility that goes with that. I've been criticized over the years for strongly believing that building shareholder value and making money is a pretty shallow goal if it's not linked to creating value for your people and giving back to the community. Starbucks' greatest strength over our 40-year history has been the relationship we have with our people. In the book, I talk about the fact that if you strongly believe in your core purpose when things were going right, then you certainly have to believe in it and depend on it when things perhaps are most challenging. I didn't want to transform the company and succeed financially and then wake up one day and realize somewhere along the line we lost the values, the guiding principles of the company. And so what I'm most proud of is the fact that we've returned it to record revenue and profitability. At the same time, we've preserved without question the culture and values of the company.
Show, guys, that's my show. Thank you for listening.